I thank you for joining. So, the purpose of this meeting is to explain an opportunity and to explain the selection process for it. So, there's this group called JSMIES, Joseph Sriharsha Mary Indraja Education Society. So, they run a total of 5 engineering colleges all over the country, and they run another 6 training institutions across the country. Okay. And they also own one school and they own one rehabilitation university as well. So there are about 13 to 14 educational institutions they run across the country. So they have 2 engineering colleges in Hyderabad. They have one training institute in West Bengal, one training institute in Gujarat, one training institute in Bhopal, one training institute in Kerala, one training institute in Andhra Pradesh. So it's a pretty much spread out thing, and they're working with multiple state governments, with Gujarat government, with Tripura government, with Kerala government, and all of that. And they're one of our clients. So we are setting up a joint team where some people hired by DeepThought, some people hired by them are going to work on a project. Now, this project is about giving high quality education to engineering students and to give high quality education to recent pass outs. As I said, high quality education to engineering students and recent pass outs. So it's 2 programs basically. One is 2 engineering colleges in Hyderabad. We're trying to improve the quality of teaching there. Other thing is in Kerala and Bhopal, there are these training programs where the state government is sponsoring the training program. So government of Kerala and government of Madhya Pradesh are sponsoring free training for rural BPL students. Students who are from villages, students who are from below poverty line education. The government is sponsoring free web development program. Government of Madhya Pradesh is sponsoring free web development program for the students, and government of Kerala is sponsoring a free data science program. But you guys know how usually these training programs are, right? The teachers are not in the way they teach is not interesting, and also the students don't get the hands-on skills at the end. So that is when DeepThought said, we'll do a common, we're calling it a sistering innovation project. So according to a leader called Bruce Piasecki, there's a concept called sistering innovation, which is like 2 organizations doing that innovation together. So what we said is DeepThought will manage the project, while the employee is probably recruited by JSMIES or DeepThought. So there's a data scientist. The data scientist will do a 4 hours per day project with DeepThought, where somebody from DeepThought will guide the person how to make the data models, how to collect the data, how to analyze the data and all. DeepThought will help that person in doing that, data modeling project. And 2 hours a day, the person is going to spend time teaching students data science. The objective is when students learn data science, the idea is not to teach a lot, but the idea is to teach a few things in a research-oriented manner, where they understand that when you're doing visualization, why are you doing visualization? What is visualization? From the first principles. Like if you've attended my workshops, you realize I start from fundamentals, I ask questions, I make people understand things on their own without we having to spoon feed them. So that is the way in which they'll be, students will be taught for 2 hours a day. And 2 hours you get time for self-learning, because if you have to teach for 2 hours, you probably have to self-learn and figure out how you're going to expose students to this. Another 4 hours will be a project. Now, those who are web developers, again, it's a similar exercise where 4 hours you will be building some technology to make learning way more effective. And a tech platform is what you're going to be building. And 2 hours a day, you're going to be teaching JavaScript and web development to students. And 2 hours a day, you have time for self-development. So the people who are going to be web developers are going to be the project is going to be managed by DeepThought. Our senior developers are going to give you briefs, do your code reviews, and run the sprints and so on. So there's a reason why both the organizations are coming together to do it, because while the teaching is taken care by JSMIES, the pedagogy, the type of teaching, the style of teaching is taken care by DeepThought, and the software development is taken care by DeepThought. So both the organizations are bringing in their own capabilities into the project. Now, when it comes to data science, again, the pedagogy, the way to teach is brought in by DeepThought. The actual teaching, curriculum development and all JSMIES will take care. And apart from that, the data visualization, how to do that, the data hardcore data science aspects again is taken care by DeepThought, because an engineering college may not be able to do hardcore data science or hardcore software development. Being a technology company, DeepThought would take care of that piece. So that's how it's a common project between the engineering college and DeepThought, and we're looking for somebody who comes with a passion for teaching. So for me, if I have to explain this concept in a simple way, it's a triangle. You're being a consultant, that is, you're solving a problem, a real world problem. And you're also being a researcher, that is, you're spending some time to read and understand the topics from the depth. And you're being a teacher. So it's a triangular engagement where you're teaching, you're solving an industry problem, and you're also doing research about it. Now, at the end of 6 months, where is your career going to be? As in, DeepThought might hire you full time if we really like how you're doing this entire teaching assignment, or we might recommend you to one of our clients in leadership roles. And we believe that the candidates who do this 6 months program might be ready for leadership roles for a very simple reason that you're actually teaching, you're dealing with people, you're getting conceptual clarity, you're learning things from a research oriented manner. And this is not being offered like an internship, it's offered like a full-time job itself with the typical fresher wala pay scale which you saw while applying to this role. So you don't want to continue in the educational institution as a full-time person in the same model of 2 + 2 + 4. You can go into the industry, we're not going to stop you. But you want to continue with us, we'll have you for a longer duration also. And it is not a pure teaching role, it is for 50% of the time on the industrial thing and 50% of the time on learning. Now, the advantage with this kind of a setup is, since you're constantly going to be researching a lot of things, and the way you teach, you'll encourage your students to ask you any number of questions in your class. And the way you'll teach, you'll tell your students ki, you'll tell your students, I don't know in a few places, and we will, counsel the students that I don't know is not a crime. But when you say, I don't know today on Monday, on Tuesday, you go back to the class and you do your reading and you try to somehow answer their questions. So at the end of the 6 months of probation, you'll probably find yourself in a lot more capable position for either data science or web development, whatever you've applied, right? So now this is what the project is about, and this is what is in it for you to, grow with this opportunity. Now the selection is, we want to schedule an interview with the HOD of this, college. Those of you who finished observation, we want to schedule an interview. But before that interview, what I want you to do is pick one topic and try to, give a presentation to them how you will teach that topic to students. I'm very happy to help you improve that presentation also, so that the management sees that you are somebody who is coming with a vision and you're going to teach that in a new way. Like those, those who are doing web development, maybe you can talk about event handling. How are you going to teach event handling? You can make a small plan. And those who are doing data science, maybe how you're going to pick up some data visualization, right? Maybe Power BI or Tableau, how you're going to show it, how you're going to teach that, you can come up with your plan. Now, what are the guidelines? You can use ChatGPT for pointers. Like I think some of you were there during my curriculum design using ChatGPT workshop. So you give good prompts to ChatGPT, you can get pointers as well as to how you can get, what do you ask ChatGPT? You ask ChatGPT, can you give me real world examples for this? Can you make the language so simple that an 8-year-old understands? Can you give the same explanation in the form of questions so that I can make my students think? So you can use these prompts, give me leading questions, give me examples, simplify the language. So that way you guys can, get some creative ideas from ChatGPT. You combine all those ideas and come up with a plan. In one page, you can write your plan in terms of how you'll teach that topic. So we'll make you present this to the college. And if I'm able to see that you're really passionate about teaching, we're very happy to hire you. Our expectation is simple. Somebody who is really passionate about teaching and somebody who, wants to, who's got decent subject fundamentals is what we're looking to hire. Decent subject fundamentals. I'm not expecting very in-depth things also, because you'll be taught. Like for web development, if you know very basics of HTML, CSS, and basics of JavaScript, good enough. Rest of it, we will teach you, and on the job you'll learn. And because you're also going to build projects, you'll get first-hand experience of JavaScript, and that is what you're going to teach in your class. Likewise, data science, since you're going to do things first-hand over here, that will give you an opportunity to, present it to students. Questions? Go ahead, ask your questions so that you're clear, because you'll have to come up with that one pager.
Tarun, I would like to know that in data science, what are the basic fundamental concepts that we should be like having, like before?
Statistics, basics of Python, statistics. Yeah, that's it. So Power BI, Tableau are also optional for me. I think if you know Python programming, as in when I say Python programming, if you know loops, conditionals, if you can write a program with file handling, right? You know, stacks, queues, and all basic data structure concepts, basic programming if it's strong, and if you know statistics, that's good enough for me. Like if I ask you to write a prime number generator, can you write a prime number generator? Or if I ask you like little, I mean, to be honest, my bar is quite low. If you can do
Okay.
basic programming and if you're passionate about teaching and you know basics of statistics, that's fine. To be honest, I think someone who's coming with growth mindset, who knows basics of programming is fine, because rest of it, I'm confident that I'll teach anyway if someone is willing to learn. But what I can't teach someone is that passion for teaching to help students and all, right? So that's something I look forward to from the candidate. But for data science, I think even if you know only basic Python programming, you can write a prime number generator. And if you know basics of statistics, right, that's good enough. Because my goal is at the end of this program, right, all the students in that institute should be able to do programming. Today's tragedy, students can't write a single program. If you're able to help them in writing simple programs, you're in.
I have a question. So from when the interview sessions are happening?
This is it's like a full-time job only, where it's a 6 months probation followed by full-time job. But after 6 months probation, if you don't want to continue also, we're okay with it.
Okay.
But ideally, anyone who's coming like a full-time job is what is sweet for us. You know, the college will take very good care of you, will put you in leadership roles, you can be a part of their incubator, you can be a part of their industry exchange program. They really want good youngsters who can bring life into the college. But if you say that no, 6 months after my training, I will get a good software job, I want to go, we're okay with it. Inspire students, give them value in 6 months, or you want us only to give you an opportunity after 6 months, we with our clients somewhere will put you there. My goal is only one thing. In that 6 months, you should be able to inspire students and make them job ready, make them, capable of doing something of their own.
And when the interview will be scheduled with the HOD of the
when you're ready.
institute? When?
When you're ready, we are trying to close.
Yeah.
By this weekend, we're trying to close at least 2 vacancies.
Okay.
And this is the good way, so that we are having 3 opportunities, like while learning we can do real life projects also, and we can teach also. So this is
You're doing a project with me, as in you're doing a project for DeepThought. So it's
DeepThought, yeah.
It's not like an academic project. You're working in the company. I'll give you experience letter from DeepThought.
Oh, okay.
You'll be doing industry grade development only. And if you don't want to do data science, you want to do web development, we'll teach you that also, not a problem.
Okay.
What I want to see is, are you creative? Can you teach in a creative way? If you can teach in a creative way, teaching you technical stuff is my headache.
Okay.
Basics of programming, if you know, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how we want to clean up India's education system. जो लोगों को थोड़ा बहुत programming आता है ना, जो who are not employable by the industry, we take them, we make them faculty in colleges, we make them teach students programming. उनका programming strong हो जाएगा. While teaching, you become strong, and in that 6 months, we'll teach you a lot of things so that you become ready. And you're also building a project for us. So for the engineering college, what is the advantage? They're getting capable people to teach for 2 hours a day. In that 8 hours which the student is in the college, 2 hours the student gets good teaching enough, no? At the end of 4 years, that student should be able to write a line of code, and that the student should be able to program, right? And trust me, you guys will do a lot more serious stuff, because we're going to teach JavaScript and all of that in a very exciting way. For example, when I'm teaching event listeners, right? We ask them, like, we tell them stories like Mahabharat mein Sri Krishna was having event listener. Sudarshan Chakra. 100 mistakes, the event listener is attached to the DOM. Once 100 mistakes come in, then the event gets triggered. So you can actually try to make it more philosophical. You can make them think rather than just blindly by heart and learn things in data science or software development. That is where your development will happen, because you're teaching students in a research oriented manner. How to teach in a research oriented manner, we will help you. But I want you to have that passion. I want you to be creative in how you teach. And it is not like you're becoming a teacher. You are doing industry grade project with DeepThought. That is a assurance I'm giving you. You'll make a very intelligent, those who are data scientists, you'll make an intelligent data system for the college to measure how all the faculty are teaching, how the students are learning, their emotions. You'll collect various amount of data and you'll make an intelligent data system. This will be a project of DeepThought. This will be intellectual property of DeepThought. I love this project because पैसा वो दे रहा है और काम मेरा हो रहा है. मेरा एम्प्लॉई है, सैलरी वो दे रहे हैं. क्यों दे रहे हैं? Because उनको हाई क्वालिटी टीचर मिल रहा है. It's a win-win, no? For student, for you, for me, and for the college, everyone, it's a win, no? For you, you're getting very high quality training from a company called DeepThought, and you're getting a decent salary to start off your career. Your salary is covered and you're getting trained on the job. For the college student, the student is not being taught by some random person, is being taught by somebody who's doing real work. For 4 hours, you're doing real work and 2 hours you're teaching, which means student is listening to somebody who knows something really solid, right? For student, it's a win. For you, it's a win. For me, my 4 hours of work, the college is paying your salary. Mera cost thoda kam ho raha hai. And I'm getting paid by the college to train you. And for the college, they're able to give high quality education to students. After 6 months, they'll come and say, our students are top programmers of the city. So this is what the project is in a nutshell. Questions, please.
And during interview, what should we teach? Like present
your plan of how you will teach the topic, right? You take any topic under data science, right? It could be data visualization, or you could take some statistics, or you could take some Python programming concept. You talk of how you will teach that thing. We want you to showcase the way you will make life, the way you will make the subject very interesting to students. And I'm telling you, use ChatGPT properly. Ask ChatGPT questions. What are the fundamentals of this topic? What do I teach carefully? What concepts have to be made very clear? I want to see your creativity, right? What questions you ask ChatGPT. And teach it in a nice manner. I want to see your fundamentals and I want to see how you make it creative for the student. How much depth you have about the subject. And how do you get the depth? Read more about it on the internet, try to listen to some, good computer scientists and all who are talking about it. Try to get in-depth knowledge about the topic on your own and do it. And whatever plan you make, I will give you feedback. I'll help you improve your lesson plan. You'll not go to the client without me first reviewing your thing. See, if you guys did the observation, supporting you is my job. Because if you have done observation, it means what? You've shown that you want to learn. You've shown that you have the resilience. You're not giving up. You didn't run away in between. Means now I shouldn't run away. I should be with you on your side. So pehle aapka plan bana lo. Once you make your plan, I'll give you feedback. Together we'll improve it. And then you see, because I want the college to be like, wow, amazing people are coming. I don't want them to feel like our freshers are coming. The college has to be like our industry professionals are coming. Deal?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, how many times we have to give you the clear confirmation that we will be doing the job? Like we will be ready for teaching.
What is the deadline for the submitting
What is the deadline?
submitting the presentation video? Or
So yeah, I think if you can do it by day after evening, that should be great.
okay.
Okay.
Take your time, make a nice one. And if you ask me, use ChatGPT smartly, you can finish it off in next 3 hours.
Do we need to submit the video or the video link?
No,
It's
I want
fine.
one page write up, a plan. How will you do it?
Okay.
Okay, I want to ask you guys, why do you think I'm asking you for a write up and not a video?
Hmm.
Anyone?
Because this is more structured if we are right our
Because we
thoughts.
are when writing, we get more understanding about that concept.
Yeah,
Uh,
while writing, we can more we can easily structure the concept of
Exactly.
what we are doing.
I know how organized you are. Because some of you may not be good at speaking right now. That's okay, you'll learn. We'll put you through some theater drills. We'll make you do acting and all of that. There are some drills. You do that, your communication will improve.
yeah. Actually, we don't have any prior knowledge about teaching.
That's exactly why you are being considered.
Yeah,
Okay.
and in that one pager, what should we include? And
The one pager, how are you going to cover the topic? How will you introduce it? Will you make it fun? What fundamentals will you cover? You can make it like a plan in your own style. What fundamentals will you
Okay.
cover? Why are you covering it? What will you cover? Why are you covering it? And then how will you cover?
Sir, how we select the topic which we have to?
As I told you, you can maybe choose event handling.
Sir, event handling is made basically a high level topic.
It's
As
not
the
if you understand it properly. You can do it.
no, basically for those
Actually,
who doesn't even know about the coding.
So I'll tell you what is event handling. What
No,
is
I know
first,
event handling what is, but
okay, who here doesn't know coding? Okay, everyone knows coding. Who here doesn't know web development?
first,
I
yes.
don't know
First,
coding much.
first we need to just simply first know learn about the HTML and CSS part. Then we'll go to the
You
JavaScript.
don't need HTML, CSS.
Okay.
You don't need HTML, CSS. I'll tell you how. This is where your research-oriented teaching comes in. All of you, please keep your videos on. So
Oh,
I'll tell you how I would teach it. Right? I would say that do you want your web pages to be having the same content all the time, or do you want things to change? If the user is putting the mouse on a chocolate, do you want to show that chocolate in a big way? Do you based on what the user is doing on the platform, do you want your web page to automatically adjust? Do you want your web page to be smart? Now, let's say a user is seeing that price 2-3 times. Do you want to put a message on the screen saying, stop checking the price so many times, here is a 20% discount? Do you want to put a feature like this? Now, to put a feature like this, you need to know when the user did that action, right? When did the user put that, move the mouse onto that, price multiple times? So, if something happens, then I show this. If the user clicks this button, then I show this pop-up, or then I give this music. Or if that user, typed 500 words in the page, then I'll play music and I'll celebrate. So if something happens, then something else will happen. If some criteria is met, then one action will happen. Means if some event happens, I listen to one event, and when that event happens, this action happens. So there is something called DOM. What is this DOM? DOM is like, so why do we use computer programming? We use computer programming because if I use a variable X, X can be Tushar, X can be Hilton, X can be Vicky, X can be Omkar, X can be Abhishek, X can be Jay. So I make it variable. When I make it variable, it can be anybody. So likewise, your web pages which are shown also are made dynamic, variable. So there is something called DOM. That DOM is like an object, that is abstract object. So it will change very dynamically. So in a nutshell, that is what it is. But when you study DOM in detail, you'll understand what it is. So now this DOM fellow is the fellow who's manipulating all the elements of your web page based on the instructions. So now what this event listener is, it sits on the DOM. The event listener is talking to the DOM. So means if the user is doing something on the browser, from the browser, the event listener is attached. From the browser, that information goes to the DOM. So the DOM understands this action happened. Now what happens when the DOM understands the user typed the 500 words? It will show congratulations and it will show music. Who will trigger the action? The DOM should trigger the action. DOM is the fellow who's controlling the code and all of that. But for the DOM to trigger the action, DOM should get the instruction.
Yes.
So that instruction comes from the browser. So the event listener is sitting between these.
Mm.
Do you need JavaScript, HTML, CSS to teach like this? Got it?
This is
Topic is complex.
this is right.
No topic is complex.
Okay.
Or let's say you want to teach asynchronous programming. How do you teach it? You say that there's a waiter in a hotel. You give an order. That waiter goes to the kitchen, waits for that biryani and gets the biryani and delivers the biryani to the customer who ordered the biryani. Now let us say that biryani takes 1 hour to cook. Should that waiter wait for the chef and should the waiter go to the next thing?
Start the next thing.
So this is how the waiter usually goes. The waiter skips and goes to the next one. But what if there's a very important action and you want the waiter to wait and you don't want the waiter to go to the next one? That is when you tell the waiter, wait, don't go to the next one until this. So synchronous programming, asynchronous programming, you can explain this way. So the moment you know the fundamentals of something really well, you can actually use, without technical language, you can actually explain what the concept is. Sir Richard Feynman said, if you can't explain something to a 5-year-old, you yourself don't understand it. When I teach JavaScript, this is how I teach JavaScript to people. So that people get the fundamentals of JavaScript really, really well. And this is how you guys will be teaching in the college as well. So which is why I'm saying after 6 months, you'll be solid with your fundamentals as a developer or as a data scientist. So you can pick any topic, but try to cover the topic in this manner.
Yeah, it should like teaching like a 5-year-old.
Exactly.
So yeah,
And
that's the way.
there are some technology
Yeah.
workshops. There are some technology workshops on Sciencesation YouTube channel. You can take that as a reference as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
The students are college students, right?
Sorry?
The students are college students.
They're
or-
college students, but what Tushar
Okay.
is saying is you want your language to be so simple that even school students can understand.
Yeah, I also learn a lot of things like a 5-year-old, how the kid understand the concepts. Like how in my training experience, how I learn all things. So even if a 5-year kid can understand, why we don't? As that.
Exactly. So if you're not able to explain a 5-year-old, it means you didn't get the logic. You're only throwing fancy language.
Yes, yes.
In fact, you know what? Teaching school students is easier than teaching college students. Because their brain is sharper. Right? Our education system kills the thinking of people as people grow up. That's why it's nice to keep teaching all the time. Okay. So guys, go ahead,
Okay.
make your 1-page plan. So then once your 1-page plan is ready, we will, invite you for the, interview and the HOD will actually have an interaction with you. So we hope you enjoy this. You're going to contribute in a great way to the nation by doing this job. And you'll also, develop yourself in a rapid manner. Like in DeepThought as well, if you see Shavan and Shagun who are lead developers, they spend a good amount of time teaching people. When you teach people, when you share your knowledge, I think you get to the next level. Shavan and Shagun both are AVPs in DeepThought. Within 1 year of work experience, they got promoted to assistant vice president position. That's the pedigree, that's the standard they currently, have, right? So that's about it. Thank you for joining and we hope you will enjoy this task.